Yes, thank you very much, Lau. I came across this article first in March 2010 in an Economist magazine where Standard Chartered chief economist Gerard Lyons said that Africa will become the next manufacturing hub. So it caught my attention and I started doing research on Africa. And Africa was labeled 10 years back the hopeless continent by the same Economist magazine. But now the same Economist magazine is talking about the impressive growth which is likely to continue for Africa in the next 20 to 30 years, and why everybody will be moving to Africa in the next 10 to 20 years. So my first topic that I will be speaking on will be Africa will become the next manufacturing hub. Why Africa will become the next manufacturing hub? If you look in the last 8 to 10 years, and you will see the impressive growth these countries, especially from Africa, that have achieved, I would say it's remarkable. From Ghana in the west to Mozambique in the south, African economies are consistently growing faster than those of almost any other region of the world. At least a dozen have expanded by more than 6% GDP growth a year for the last 7 to 8 years. If you look at Ethiopia, has grown by 7.5% last year without a drop of oil to export. Once Ethiopia was labeled a famine country, but it is now the world's 10th largest producer of livestock. Over the past decade, I would say 6 of the world's fastest growing countries were Africans in the year 2010-2011. In the past 10 years, East Africa has shown remarkable growth because East Africa has got oil. And according to IMF and World Bank, Africa will grow by 6% in 2012 and it will grow by 7% in 2013, just about the same as Asia. And if you see the report of economists, how the world would become in 2030, they are talking about Mozambique will grow by 8.2% GDP. As you know, Mozambique is in the south. Rwanda, which is in the central of Africa, will grow by 7.8%. And Ghana, which is on the west of Africa, will grow by 7.6%. That clearly demonstrates the growth of this region and why Africa is booming in this region. Why Africa will become the next manufacturing hub, globally speaking, is because they have low labor costs, they have abundance of resources, they have quota-free access to US and European markets. To give you a small example, I would say Africa is leveraging from its abundance of resources and the opportunities that they are sharing with the global players. I give you a very small example in a quote from Economist magazine. Look, just take a look of Ethiopia, and I'm talking about the leather industry. This sector employs around 8,000 workers, and it exports around $8 million worth of leather in 2010, and in 2011 they exported around 20 million worth of leather to various countries. Ethiopia's labor costs are lower than Asia, and the country has Africa's second largest cattle population next to Sudan. And Ethiopia's strategic competitive advantage in wages, productivity and natural resources has led to a Chinese shoemaker at the time, Hai Jan, to build a factory in Ethiopia in the last 1 year or so. And with two production lines starting in January 2013, export of 30,000 pair of shoes a month and creating additional 1,000 jobs would be just remarkable. So the opportunities and preconditions are certainly there. Africans are taking on the position with the help of their resources and with the strategic policies that they are pursuing. Africa would be ahead of China, would be ahead of many Asia Pacific countries like Vietnam or Indonesia, because the biggest advantage that Africa has that they have got very low labor costs. And investors would eventually move to those countries where labor costs are very low. So Africa would become the next manufacturing hub. That's why I'm quite bullish on Africa, and African resources would be an eye for all the major players, globally speaking. My next topic would be human capital. That's the biggest asset the African continent has.